We appreciate your time this evening here on WCNC Plus. We do have an update from CMPD, which we are going to get about a Northeast Charlotte homicide at a Food Lion, which they believe could have been a road rage incident. Let's listen in right now as they update us on this situation.
Major Torrey, T-O-R-R-I, last name Tellis, T-E-L-L-I-S. Shortly after 4:30 p.m. this afternoon at the 7400 block of the plaza, officers responded to assault with a deadly weapon, shooting into an occupied vehicle, called for service. Upon their arrival, they found a victim who sustained gunshot wounds, and shortly thereafter was pronounced on scene, pronounced deceased.
How did this unfold in terms of the relationship between the two people?
So, from what information that we've gathered, it started off as a altercation, a vehicle altercation, road rage altercation, which turned into verbal, and then gunshots or shots fired. And once the shots were actually fired, both parties took off, and the victim vehicle sped into a apartment complex or a building across the street.
That one right over there?
Yes, yeah. Where they came to rest.
And the other shooting, was that outside of Food Lion? Like in this parking lot behind you?
From all information, the incident occurred in the parking lot.
Was it busy, or are you talking to a lot of witnesses? Are they telling you anything, or?
So at this particular time, it's rush hour traffic. Everyone's going to from school, going to work, or coming from work rather. So it's a lot of traffic around. Several people witnessed this situation because of the time of day that it was, and fortunate with that, we've gotten information from several who did see it.
And do you have someone in custody?
At this point, all parties are accounted for. This is an isolated incident. There's no harm to anyone else in the public, and we are speaking with everyone.
Thank you, Major. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, everyone, there's the update that we've been waiting on, and we will have more for you tonight at 11 o'clock on WCNC Charlotte during our linear show. We do want to get to the president. There's been a number of ongoing developments happening today, including the economy, obviously forces moving closer to Iran as well. The president spoke earlier at USA Steel about the economy, so let's listen in right now.
Thank you very much. It's great to see a vibrant place like this. As you know, about a year and a half ago, it wasn't so vibrant. I'm looking at all this brand new steel and equipment that just went up because of our tariffs, because of our president, but because of our tariffs. And I'm thrilled to be back in the great state of Georgia with the men and women of an incredible American company, the Coosa Steel Corporation. For more than 50 years, the hardworking Americans at Coosa Steel have poured out their sweat and blood and tears to turn into what, look, you wanted to take raw material and you wanted to take beautiful metal and you wanted to turn it into the highest quality steel racks and plates in the business, all stamped with those really beautiful words. You don't see it too much, but now you do again, made in the USA, right? And this company prospered and grew from humble beginnings in a Georgia manufacturing. What happened is you became, in a very short while, a Georgia manufacturing giant. But then you watch your core business start to fade. I just spoke to your great owner, and he's great, but he got hit by stupid politicians, basically, making specialized steel tire racks dwindle from 2 bustling shifts to 6 days a week down to 1 shift and 1 hour. 1 hour a week. Then you went back up to 2 days, then you went back to 3 days, then you went back to 1 day, then you went down to 1 hour. Because all the business was going to China and other countries from outside. And it wasn't only here, it was other plants also. I assume your friends, likewise, were having the same problem. Your jobs were being stolen as foreign nations dumped their subsidized products. Don't forget China and these other countries, they pay for it. It's all subsidized. You don't get too much subsidy. but they dropped the subsidized products on our market to try and put Americans out of business, and that's what they were doing. You're lucky you have a man that is so proud of this place. He kept it going, barely kept it going. It wasn't easy. You're a lucky guy. But now, thanks to the fact that we got elected on November 5th, and thanks to what I call the Trump tariffs, business at Coosa Steel is booming again. We just spoke, it's booming. And in October, you received your first large order for tire racks since 2014. It was a big, massive order. In fact, this great man right here thought that they made a mistake. He said it can't be possible. No, it's called tariffs. I said, my favorite word in the whole dictionary is tariff, and I got in trouble with, look at all the fake news back there. Look at them. I got in trouble. No, I got in trouble with them because I said, tariff is my favorite word in the whole dictionary. They said, what about family? What about God? What about wife, children? I said, all right, it's my fifth favorite word. Now I'm okay. They've treated me okay since I did that. They didn't like it when, but it's my fifth favorite word in the dictionary. You're back to producing at full speed, 2 shifts a day, and he's going to 3 shifts a day, 6 days a week. And you've got a backlog now that's 7 months long. What a difference. From a couple of hours a week to 7 months long. And it's all because you finally have a president who put America first. That's what it is. But it's also because I imposed powerful 50% tariffs on foreign steel where they were coming in and dumping crap all over our country. I ended every one of the Biden-era exemptions, and on August 18th, I added new tariffs to cover 400 derivative products, including steel racks, which is what you make. So I say congratulations, and what a great comeback. This is a comeback that 2 years ago, right, you were almost, I don't want to say out of business, but you were almost out of business. I guess he said you can say it. You were close. He was borderline. He started telling his wife, let's have tuna fish tonight, darling. Forget about the steak. But stories like this companies are right now playing out in cities all around the country, towns, villages, all over the country. And to think I have to be in the United States Supreme Court for many, many months waiting for a decision on tariffs. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble right now. Without tariffs, this country would be like your company was 2 years ago. What a difference it made. And you know who brought the cases against us? People that are China-oriented, people that have business in China that want to rip us off and keep ripping us off, and the tariffs had stopped us. And not only China, other countries too. People from other countries like Canada and others, they sue us. Canada has ripped us off for years. Not anymore, they're not. And I'm waiting for a decision from the Supreme Court. Can you imagine? We have to wait. I mean, I just heard the story today, and I've told it 1,000 times. I don't think I've ever heard it any better. I even took him back to the fake news where he related the story, that he was in serious trouble. There was no business. There was no business anywhere. How was this place 2 or 3 years ago? It was not just here, the whole area. It was a disaster. And now it's vibrant. And we have to justify this because people come from other countries because they ripped us off for 50 years. And now we're doing the same thing to them. And we're being very modest about it. Right, Howard? We're being very modest about it. We could go a lot further if I want to. Because what they've done to us, other countries, what they've done, they almost put us out of business. And I'll tell you, if I didn't win this election, and if you had a moron like Kamala or a moron like Sleepy Joe Biden, if you had these people back, our country would have been finished. We wouldn't have had a country. So just yesterday, I was visited by the CEO of the drug company, Novartis, and his name is Baz, first name, great guy. And he came into the White House to see our great chief of staff, who happens to be with us. Where's Susie? Susie's with us someplace. She is great. First female chief of staff and the best chief of staff. And she wanted to bring him in. It's a big, very big company, all based outside of this country. And she wanted to bring him in, so I said, come on. So I said, hello, how are you doing? How's it going? Sir, I'm building 11 plants in the United States. I said, that's a lot. How many do you have? None. But we're moving almost all our business into the United States. And I said, why are you doing that? Tariffs. Tariffs! Can you believe it? He said, tariffs. And I got to be before a court. Can you believe it? This is like men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody. I have a new one to add, voter ID. The Democrats don't want to give us voter ID because they want to cheat. The only way they can cheat is if they, look, we can stop them so easy. You know what they say? We don't want voter ID because it's racist. Okay? That's a good one. It's racist, no. I'll tell you what, when they look at the polls, 95% of the people want voter ID. Then you have proof of citizenship. So we want voter ID. We want proof of citizenship. For you to vote, let's prove that you're an American. So please, proof of citizenship. They're fighting that. They're fighting that. And then we don't want to have mail-in ballots where they're mailed in from all parts of the place. Mail-in ballots are crooked as hell. We're the only country in the world that use this type of mail-in ballot, the only country in the world. I'll tell you what, Republicans have to win this one. We'll never lose a race. For 50 years, we won't lose a race. We want voter ID. We want proof of citizenship. And we don't want mail-in ballots except for the military far away, except for people that are ill, disabled, or people that are away. Even for a vacation, we'll be generous, okay? Other than that, we don't want mail-in ballots because mail-in ballots, they cheat. Without tariffs, what would you do? You know what? Everybody would be bankrupt, everybody. The whole country would be bankrupt. And I have to wait for this decision. I've been waiting forever, forever. And the language is clear that I have the right to do it as president. I have the right to put tariffs on for national security purposes, countries that have been ripping us off for years. You know what they were doing? Using tariffs. What a country. So sad. So just 1 year ago, under crooked Joe Biden, and he was crooked as hell, our country was dead. Now we have the hottest country. In 1 year, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. Right, Kelly? Remember when I used to say, Fuller sort of reminded me, I listened to your speech, very good. I'm endorsing that man, by the way, very strongly. I actually listened to your speech back there, and you said, you remember when the president used to tell the story about getting tired of winning? You reminded me, I haven't told that story in a long time. You're going to be so tired of winning, you're going to be exhausted, you're going to get tired of winning. Remember I say, your governor or Kelly Loeffler, somebody's going to come up and say, President, please, we're winning too much, we're not used to it. George is not used to it, we can't take it anymore. People are working too hard, they're making too much money. Please, we don't want to win anymore, sir, it's too much. I said, nope, we're going to keep on winning. The people of Georgia want to win. I'm sorry, Kelly, the people of Georgia. The people of Georgia want to win. Last week it was announced that the United States added 172,000 jobs in the private sector. We reduced in the, you know, if I wanted to have really great job numbers, don't do any cutting in the public sector. You know, I cut off 400,000 jobs in the public sector, and then I add many more than that in the private sector. And you know, those public sector people that got cut, they hated me and now they love me because they've all gone out and gotten much better paying jobs in the private sector, working right here for you. But we've created more than 5,000 manufacturing jobs in Georgia alone. And we've had a very good relationship with Georgia. And as factory construction gets underway, we've created 70,000 new construction jobs right here, 70,000. And you know what they're building? Factories like this. I said to that brilliant person right there, I see the yellow steel? You know what that is? That's a crane, brand new. I said, how long has that been here? He said, about 2 months. He said, tariffs brought it here, sir. Your policy brought it here. So today, more Americans in the prime of their life are part of a labor force than at any time since 2001, and then you could go back another 25 years from that. And more Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. Think of that.
All right, folks, we're going to cut away from the president. We are watching tests for the Artemis launch. They're not going to launch tonight, but they are doing a lot of the fuel tests right now. So we're going to go to NASA in the next couple of minutes to see where things are at. We'll put up a live shot here, as you can see, as they are getting things prepared. This fuel test, yes, counting down 13 minutes and counting. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll come back right after this. All right, folks, welcome back. We appreciate your time as we get closer to this Artemis fuel test as they continue to fill this tanker and this amazing rocket up. We'll get more information from NASA in the next couple of minutes. We're going to go to Megan Bragg's discussion with a UNC professor about what we're seeing in this buildup in the Middle East right now.
Go, across the world, right? So right now things are tense because nuclear talks have stalled, and both Iran and U.S. are really flexing their military muscles right now. They're basically trying to pressure each other without actually starting a war. So right now, UNC Chapel Hill professor Bapat is joining us right now. Professor, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Can you just kind of explain to our viewers what is going on and why these tensions are continuing to escalate?
Sure. So the issue that is being focused on right now between the United States and Iran, and there are several issues that the United States and Iran have in dispute. The issue is focusing on a nuclear deal. For the viewers that may not know, in 2015, a nuclear deal was struck between the United States and Iran called the JCPOA. The Trump administration pulled out of that in its first term and is now seeking another version of that deal, which is attempting to limit Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons, and that's through enrichment. So what the United States is demanding, in effect, is that that Iran give up all of its ability to enrich uranium. Iran doesn't want to do that. So there are some negotiations over how much of that capability Iran can keep. But it looks like the United States has struck a pretty hard line, demanding that Iran surrender a considerable amount, if not all of it, which is something Iran's not willing to accept. And so what that's led to now is the possibility that the United States may act again against Iran. It acted earlier this year or earlier last year in an effort in cooperation with Israel to strike at some Iranian nuclear reactor. So it looks like there might be another action. The U.S. has put considerable assets into the theater, and it looks like there may, the Trump administration has said there's a 10-day timeline to decide whether or not diplomacy is going to work or if there's going to be a military strike. So we're just, again, the buildup looks like it's happening, which is obviously a source of considerable concern in the region.
Now, I know, with these military buildups, right, and kind of flexing, really, why is this kind of risky, as history has shown us?
Yeah, so it's risky in part because since as these operations continue, there's always some risk of accident that can happen. Now, I think U.S. forces are very well disciplined, so from their end, I think that things should be okay. But again, you don't know what will happen when U.S. forces are engaging others. So again, that is a risk. That's something may go wrong. The other risk that's worth mentioning that's quite significant is that Iran mentioned recently that it was planning on closing the Strait of Hormuz, which is a important waterway where about a fifth of the world's energy comes out of that waterway and enters the market. There's energy coming there from Saudi, there's energy coming there from Iran, there's energy coming from a lot of Gulf players, and so cutting that waterway off would be a very significant blow to the global economy in terms of energy prices. It's not clear if they actually did it or not, but they said that they were intending to, and that alone, I think, has spooked investors and pushed the price of oil up. So again, a large shock to the price of oil globally, despite transitions away from oil, would be very significant and would be a considerable harm, I think, to many throughout the world.
So kind of talk to us about what happens next. I know, right, you're saying, we really just want to have diplomacy here and talk about things. But if a strike does happen, does that mean all-out war?
Well, I think Iran would certainly interpret it that way. So Iran had been hesitant to respond in a large way to the joint strikes between Israel and the United States for several months ago. It did not use all of its capability to try to respond, which I think has been interpreted by the Trump administration that Iran is considerably weak. And then we add to that that there are significant protests against Iran. This looks like Iran is in considerable trouble. You add to their economic problems, and they are in a vulnerable state. But one thing to think about is that if the regime is pushed into such a vulnerable state, it may do all it can. Since it may, if we can think about the analogy to a wounded animal, it may act in a way that's desperate and may use its assets to try to respond. And it is believed to have some considerable ones. And even if it doesn't have a nuclear weapon yet, which we don't believe it does, it still has enough rocket capability where it could hit targets that the United States has in theater, along with Saudi Arabia, along with other Gulf allies. So again, if it does lash out, this would be a difficult operation. I think the Trump administration is planning for not just a few days, but for some weeks of strikes. So all of that would wear on the region for sure, and it would certainly weigh on the global economy.
Absolutely. What does this, Professor, remind you of, especially in history? Because I know that this has kind of happened several times where we've had these gunboat diplomacies. So is there one that sticks out for you that this reminds you of?
I actually think so. For me personally, again, the U.S. has had lots of instances of gunboat diplomacy in the past where it's sent ships into theater with an effort to try to coerce, as have other countries. For me, this actually is reminding me more of Iraq in 2003, which again is given the U.S. history there is a concern, and I think part of the reason is that if there is a strike on Iran, if that happens, I'm not sure what happens after that or what the goal is or how we define success. And so maybe that information will come out over the next several days. But again, that part is sort of concerning to me, especially if we add into the fact that if we look at size-wise, Iran is much larger than Iraq is, and it's a considerably more difficult terrain with its mountains. And the United States no longer has assets in Afghanistan to sort of go on both sides. So there's a lot of reasons, I think, to be concerned about a potential long-term operation in Iran and what that looks like.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us that clarity there. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we appreciate Mr. Bapat to spend some time with us discussing the Middle East as the buildup continues towards Iran, potentially. Jane Monreal actually had another leading story that we talked about today, and we're in the middle of award season for movies as well as TV shows and things like that. There's a financial impact that we have here in North Carolina. If you've been to Wilmington, of course, they call it Wilmywood out there. Maybe it's not the exact coined term, but either way, they've shot a lot of series and movies out in Wilmington as well. But really, North Carolina as a whole has been kind of a cornerstone for the film industry in some respects on the eastern coast. So she had a discussion about the impact. Let's go to this now.
And at this hour, North Carolina is making big strides, making its mark on Hollywood. The numbers backing it up. We're talking about the state's film and television production industry generating more than $185 million in direct in-state spending since last year in 2025, supporting thousands of jobs across 45 counties. So joining us right now from Raleigh is Guy Gaster, the director of the North Carolina Film Office. Guy, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to talk all things film production.
Yeah, fantastic. 185 million, that's a big number. What does that mean for us?
It is. It's a very good number, but I will say it actually is a little down from our previous year. But that said, production across the country has been a little down in the U.S. That said, in North Carolina, it means series such as The Hunting Wives. They're in the Charlotte area. We had Beast Game Season 2 in the Greenville and Wilmington areas. New series, R.J. Decker coming online with ABC. There were also a number of feature-length films and some commercials. So it means money's being spent with local businesses, local crew members being hired, and just all around a chance for the state to be on the big and small screen.
Yeah, I mean, big shows definitely making their mark. What is driving production to come out to the Carolinas and the South?
Sure. So first and foremost, tax incentives is probably the easiest way to put it. North Carolina offers a 25% rebate to productions on their direct spending in the state. Again, that's for that labor that's being performed here. That's for those goods and services being rendered from North Carolina vendors. So that is first and foremost the driver. But our state's also well known for its film workforce, and our diversity of locations certainly helps out.
Yeah, those projects, what does it mean to put North Carolina in that industry and have that profile in the film and production industry then?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, what's great is this is a very clean industry and one that comes in and spends money right away. There's not necessarily a factory or a manufacturing facility that's having to be built, and then those jobs come online, a couple of years after that construction. This is an industry that when a new project comes in, people are hired right away. Money is being put right into the communities. And on a national scene, it is showing North Carolina's creative side. There's also something about a little bit of panache. I don't know if that's the right word, or elite
Sure.
company. There are just some things you can't buy. Some of the publicity that comes along with being able to talk about North Carolina, whether you're recruiting, to bring a car manufacturer to the state, a banking headquarters. It's interesting that talking about shows that were filmed in North Carolina are always great starting conversations with those leaders.
Hey, the Biltmore has panache, right? And landing
Yes.
a second movie. How competitive was that process?
Yeah, it's all projects. I should say, there's probably a little bit of a misnomer that if a project is set in North Carolina, that it's definitely going to be here. That is not the case. And, especially, yes, the Biltmore House is quite iconic, but there were looks overseas, particularly in Eastern Europe, on could this be done? And then we only shoot 1 or 2 days at the estate to get establishing shots. So it is a day in, day out operation for us on helping to make sure projects come to North Carolina, whether they're set here or whether North Carolina is portraying another part of the world.
Yeah, you mentioned that production in general across the board is kind of going down, ebbing and flowing. And so where does North Carolina then stand in the position, and how does it stand out moving forward?
Yeah, good or bad, there's not official rankings on top places to make a film project. Certainly, there's a lot of creative decisions that go in, but also financial ones. I would say North Carolina remains probably among the top 10 in the country. But at the end of the day, as much as you and I may enjoy it as a form of entertainment, the individuals that we're working with and recruiting, it is a business, and so they are looking at where they can get the most bang for their buck, if you will. And right now there are advantages for shooting overseas that make the project not cost as much to make as if they were shooting it domestically.
Yeah, that's so crazy to think, though, shooting overseas to make it look...
All right, folks, we have a live event happening right now. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, speaking at a convention right now. And this is interesting amidst all the buildup that we just talked about happening in Iran at this moment. Let's go to this live right now.
Not back down. We will continue to praise Christ and exalt God. And if we did back down, as it says in Luke 19, the very rocks would cry out to praise him. If I may offer a few observations, protecting the God-given life of an unborn baby is not political, it's biblical.
All right, folks, we are having some issues here. Bear with us as we find this feed. Sometimes our feeds cuts out, but we do know that Secretary of War Hegseth at this Christian nationalist luncheon, I shouldn't say luncheon because it's not lunch, but event, and invited by a pretty controversial pastor, but this is the prayer service happening apparently at the Pentagon. So some interesting revelations coming out tonight. We did not necessarily know that this was happening live, but good to have some live coverage as this is perfect for WCNC Plus. Looks like we've got the feed back up. We're going to go back to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth right now.
Protecting our culture and our religion from godless ideologies and pagan religions, not political, it's biblical. So in closing, as long as I have breath, I commit to you that I and we should never allow any group, no matter how large or small, to silence us from speaking the capital T truth. Christ is King. He died for our sins. We are forgiven. And he will come again in glory. Amen. I'm asking all of you to join me in that commitment to speak truth, to praise God, to proclaim Christ, not because we're perfect, but because he redeems us. As David, who knew a little something about trials and persecutions, wrote in Psalm 18, "The Lord is on my side, I will not fear. What can man do to me?" Together, our voices are much louder and more powerful than any other group in the world. Said to have said, all that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. So in an era where secularism is worshipped, we must be bold Christians, empowering citizens of faith. We must communicate to them that their service is valued and that faith is not a private hobby, but a public good. A good that must be used to build our family, our community, and our nation. This is the spirit of our national motto, out of many, one, e pluribus unum. Applied to the realm of faith, it demonstrates that while our specific denominations may differ, we are united by a common call to praise and serve God. To those of us here tonight and those watching across the digital universe, let us rededicate ourselves to the principles that have made this nation great. To be good citizens, the kind of good citizens needed in a great republic. Move forward with confidence, not in the power of government, but in the power of free and virtuous people, with their eyes firmly fixed on the hope of the eternal life through Christ. Guided by the enduring biblical truth that is our inheritance and remains our best hope and our only hope for the future. Be bold and be unafraid. May God bless you, may God bless our warriors, and may God bless our great republic. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, folks, that was Pete Hegseth's speech. We're going to go to a 2-minute break. We'll come back to round out the hour here with more news on WCNC+. We'll see you in 2. All right, so many of you have probably seen the movie School of Rock with Jack Black, right? Well, we're learning about another School of Rock, this one in Waxhaw. Jane Monreal learning a little bit about this, and I'm just envisioning that movie, so hopefully it's a lot like that. Let's listen in.
dreams. And we have now School of Rock from Waxhaw in the house. Kids got out of school a little early today because you know what? If you've ever dreamed of playing guitar, maybe rocking out on a mic, wailing on the drums, there is a new place in Union County where those dreams take the stage. It is School of Rock, Waxhaw, just opening its doors there in Wesley Chapel. Owner of the school, Ann Alexander, and a couple of the students, we have Mia Alexander as well as Haven Grove, are all here. Thanks for coming in, you guys.
Thanks so much for having us today.
It is awesome. I love talking music and arts and supporting our locals. And what a great idea. And we've heard of School of Rock. Talk to me about the reason why you decided to open up a music school, because you and your husband are from a different area, from finance, right?
Yes. So my husband and I both have finance background and have worked in finance for 30 years. We moved here to Union County from Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And very excited about being here. When we got here, the closest School of Rock to Union County is in Charlotte by South Park, which is a haul.
Yeah.
Especially in the traffic we can have here. Our daughter loves School of Rock. That is her thing. And we wanted the other students in Union County to be able to experience School of Rock as well. So we decided to open one.
All right. Very cool. All right. So let's talk about School of Rock. Mia, you're the daughter of Ann. Why do you love it so much?
School of Rock has given me so many amazing opportunities to meet people. If not for School of Rock, I would have never tried out singing or like any form of music. I didn't know I enjoyed it as much as I do. I would have never found that out without it.
All right. What kind of music do you like to play, perform, listen to?
I love kind of the new rock scene. Like what's going around right now is some very like clean vocals, some really heavy music. That's what I love to play.
Yeah, I see Haven nodding his head. You feeling the same there, buddy?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
I do like classic rock, though.
Awesome. All right. Like what kind of classic rock? Talk to me about some of the artists you are inspired by.
Led Zeppelin.
Duh. Zap. Yeah.
Rolling Stone. There's Van Halen.
Oh, okay. I mean,
like
really.
You told me you were a Foo Fighters fan. Is that correct?
Oh, okay. Foo Fighters. So really all of the hard instruments. So let's talk about the instruments that you two do play. Vocals, you both use your voice as an instrument, yeah?
Yes.
All right. And what kind of shows do you get to play at?
A lot of the time it's really like it's downtown, it's where the music scene is. So downtown Charlotte, downtown Monroe, it's these really cool like bars and breweries, and it's just amazing for the kind of music we're playing. It's always the perfect scene.
Yeah. How about you, Haven?
I mean,
Same?
yeah, it's just
Same
like,
page?
Yeah, same thing, really.
And so, Ann, this program, how does it work?
So all of our students are in performance groups. We take students from 5 to 105. We do have adult bands as well. Our rookies, they do a once-a-week group where they get to try all the instruments. Those are our youngest. We don't put them in private lessons till they turn 7. Once you turn 7, you can be in Rock 101. Again, you have a private lesson and a group rehearsal. And then we step it up to the performance program where Mia and Haven are, and those, they also have private lesson, group rehearsal, but they have a theme. Every season they have a different theme. Haven, you are in punk this season, and Mia is in best of the 80s. And so for 4 months they will rehearse and learn songs in that theme, and then they do a show. Southern Range Brewing Company hosted us this past weekend, and the kids got on stage and they knocked it out. The place was so crowded they had to open up the doors.
Oh, I love it. I love it. How was that playing for, this is not a recital environment, Ann, or kids, right? It's like it's a show with an audience. What is that like?
It's really different when you're playing with people because you have to worry about keeping in time with like the whole band and stuff like that. So it's just really different from just like playing a recital where it's just you and like an instrument and you're just like playing to like a track or something.
Yeah.
As a vocalist, one of the biggest things I've noticed about playing with a crowd and at like a bar instead of a recital, you have to talk to the crowd. You cannot have dead silence in between songs. So it's really important to learn, like, you just have to keep talking no matter how dead the crowd is. It's such a hard skill to acquire.
Oh, but these are really great skills anyway that you can't actually teach. You just got to live and go through it and do the reps, don't you?
That's exactly
And
right.
our bass player started talking about baking cookies.
Oh, okay.
Started playing our last song, so yeah.
Yeah.
She was filling time. I think there was a little scurrying on stage going, and so she filled some time with the difference in humidity affecting baking.
I mean, you know what? That's actually what we do here. We just kind of fill time all the time. And so obviously different from a traditional way to learn music, Anne.
Absolutely. We try and teach music like you would teach a language, which is when you're a baby learning a language, you're not forced to learn individual letters. The first thing you do is say a word, like mama. Well, we teach song first. And so rather than saying, oh, you have to learn all the notes and learn to read music, we're going to teach you a song. We can teach you a song your first trial visit with us.
Wow, that's so cool. And so do you find this way of learning, Mia and Haven, something that you can grasp a little bit easier?
Yeah.
So much more interactive, and like you want to go back, you want to learn another song. It doesn't get boring. It's just so much fun to go back and learn something new.
Because when you get into one band, it like spreads into like a bunch of different like bands, and it's like this chain reaction that's really cool. And you explore like all these different types of music and stuff.
I mean, I feel like you two are really confident as well, well poised. Again, these things that can't be taught, but because of music and the discipline and the devotion that it takes to do something like that and practice. What is the best part of being part of this program?
Some of the skills it teaches is like I have used them almost every day for however long I've been there. It's teaching me so many social skills. It's teaching me I go to school to learn music, and School of Rock is the reason I do that. It's helped me so much throughout my life at this point, and the people you meet there are just amazing.
How about you, Haven? Same?
Same.
Did you feel like, I don't know, kind of shy at first and like, I don't know how I'm going to do this?
I mean, I was like the shortest one in my band, so I was kind of like, you know, it was just like kind of weird, but you know, since I'm like 12 and like the others are like 15, it's really cool too, because I don't feel so as like, I just feel like that other people can like enjoy the stuff that I'm also into. So like I don't feel so as like alone or whatever. Yeah,
building a good your people, your group, right? So you said it serves students from age 5 on up?
5 to 105.
5 to 105. I don't know what 105. What am I going to do in your school? I feel so
we have adult band. Yeah, so our adult band. As soon as you finish high school, you are in what is called our grad program, and we have a lot of adults who played when they were younger and are now interested in picking it back up. My favorite story is we have a student who came in. He said, my adult son moved out. He left his drum set. I told him I was going to learn, and he told me I was too old. And I said, oh, no. He played on stage with them this weekend, and he killed it.
That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. All right, so for anyone who's watching now, wants to get involved, what do you tell them? What can they do?
They can give me a call at School of Rock Waxhaw. We can also go online. We can sign up right from our website for a free trial. We do a free 30-minute trial lesson, so you can come in, see the school, and see what it's all about.
Okay, and then you opened the doors already.
Yep.
What can people look forward to in the next performance?
So we have a performance coming up at the Trail House in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Trail House. What are you going to perform?
What are you guys going to perform?
The songs?
Yeah. What's
kind of music? What are you preparing?
Punk songs.
I'm doing I Fought the Law by The Clash.
Oh, nice.
And I'm also doing, I think it's Black Flag that I sing on. I don't know, I just sing on it.
You just sing on it.
Mia, what you got?
Don't Stop Believing, which is
Journey.
It's amazing.
Love that song. Oh, that's a good one. It's my karaoke jam.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, come sing along.
No, I'll let the professionals handle it. Anything else we need to know?
No, everybody's welcome. We are completely inclusive, and just love to have students that are interested in music get together and make friends.
Well, we loved having you guys here. So, anything you want us to know or spread the word?
I love School of Rock. Live, laugh, love School of Rock.
Yeah, I love playing instruments and I love School of Rock, so yeah.
You guys are great. You got really, they are. What great representatives.
Thank you so much for having us.
You sold us. All right, you guys rock. Thank you so much. School of Rocks in Waxhaw.
All right.
You can do it. Opening its doors for you. Free trial. Just give them a call. All right. Thanks, guys.
I told you it was like the movie. I'm just kidding. That is so cool, though, that they have that. And please be watching out for all of those students that are involved with the School of Rock down in Waxhaw. We're going to take another 2-minute break, folks. We don't have too much longer until we close things out. We do have 704 Unfiltered tonight at 9 o'clock, right after us here on WCNC+. We'll be back in 2 minutes. All right, folks, he is on fire. Rookie Con Knipple taking the league by storm. We had a one-on-one with him. Danielle Stein got it, so let's listen in right now.
Con, it's now been 7 months since we talked at the top of the Lowe's Tower when you were being introduced officially as a Hornet, which is so crazy. It's been that long at this point. Between the first 2/3 of the season at this point to this All-Star break, have you had a moment at least to sit and reflect on what this year has kind of meant to you and looked like?
Not really, honestly. Yeah. It's been a lot of go. A lot of games, a lot of time in the gym, a lot of travel. But I've really enjoyed it, and it's been a lot of fun. And just, with the development of the season, a lot of fun basketball ahead.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different pace compared to the college game in terms of the travel, a lot of go. Like you said, I know you guys haven't really practiced here in quite a few weeks before today at this point. How has the pace and the adjustment been for you, would you say, at this point?
Yeah, I think it is the biggest adjustment. It's not really as much the physical as it is the mental, I would say. Just how to approach the travel and how many games there are, how to be, sharp for every game and every shoot around and practice, film session. So that's been the big challenge, and I've really enjoyed it.
Something that you said to me the last time we spoke was keeping that inner voice is something that's pretty important, because you never want to feel too good about your game, because then you won't continue to grow. How have you kind of been balancing keeping that inner voice through this rookie season so far, while also realizing I'm doing some pretty cool things so far too? Yeah,
I think it is the ultimate balance. Because you got to be confident to play in this league, and you got to be confident in your abilities. Because if you're not, it can kind of eat you alive a little bit. But also, there's got to be the the guy in there that I feel like is like your inner dog that's telling you you're not good enough, because that'll really help you get better and improve.
I spoke with your mom a couple months ago for a different story, and something that just made me crack up. She was like, "My little guy, how is he gonna play up against some of these, big players like Rudy Gobert?" When you're up there at the All-Star weekend with Giannis, for example, I know you guys had a good conversation. What's that kind of been like for you to meet some of these big figures in the NBA, and you're kind of equals at this point?
It's fun because, especially like Giannis or especially him, because he plays in Milwaukee in my hometown, so that's really special for me. But those guys you grow up watching, and you grow up as a fan of the game, so it's really, really special to see those guys and be able to talk to those guys, ask those guys stuff, ask them questions, and really as just because at the end of the day I'm still a fan,
right?
And I really enjoy this game, so being around those people is really cool.
He said you are one of the smartest rookies that he has met in his career, which has to definitely mean something to you. How do you feel like your basketball IQ has grown since you've been in this building with the Hornets?
Yeah, a lot. I think like going back and sometimes and watching college games, it is there is a step up, obviously, in the understanding of the game. I think my awareness of time and score, constant awareness of that, or that it's needed in the NBA. Like, you got to be able to know what's on the shot clock, how many fouls do we have. All that stuff is it's important in the college game, but I don't think that many players really use that to their advantage. Where in the NBA, it's pretty necessary.
A lot's obviously made of your three-point shooting, as it should be, but a lot of people are talking about something they saw this past week at the Rising Stars game, which we also saw during a Summer League game, is you diving on the floor for a loose ball. What is that, element of your game, just that competitive player that you are, kind of come from, and where?
And so I think playing in that, as I started in 8th grade.
Wow.
So playing in that, I think, was the biggest key to development for me and my basketball journey, because you learn how to be physical, how to move without the ball, how to communicate, things that are so important for today's, especially in the NBA, for today's basketball. And so I think that was probably the biggest key for me in getting better.
How big were you at that point in 8th grade?
I mean, 8th grade I was 5'10".
Okay.
Yeah, skinny. I joke it's NBA length quarters.
Yeah.
So I went from averaging like 10 a game to, we keep stats and all that, to averaging like 40 in like 2 years. Yeah. So I mean, I think it was very instrumental.
It's definitely seeming to pay off as you guys are going in the back half of your season. You said just the other day that we now view ourselves as the Hunters, and I think that is something that really resonated with a lot of fans when you said that, because it seems like there was a flip that may have switched. Here you guys are in control of your own fate. What can you kind of attribute that to at this point?
I think it's just you get a little confidence.
All right. Folks, cutting that off a little early. If you do want to watch it, we did have it on WCNC Plus earlier. Please download and share with your friends and family. Don't forget, we do have Unfiltered, 704 Unfiltered, which happens at 9 o'clock with Nick Sturdivant. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys.